read the book Mere Christianity by C.S. Lewis, and here in the library right now. Let's talk a little bit about this. All right, so just a little summary of this book. I'm sure you've read it. It's really interesting because at first when you're reading it, you don't even realize it, but C.S. Lewis is basically proving Christianity. He begins by exploring what it means, what the meaning of the universe is, and basically what everything means, but he uses like worldly things and things that everyone feels to show that Christianity is the only explanation. And he goes through several things that a Christian should believe, and what a Christian should be, and then how they should work towards that. A Christian should strive to be like Jesus and strive to reach his level of perfection, even though they'll never actually get it until on this earth, but they should still be striving towards it. Lewis also, he goes through basic Christian beliefs, and he breaks them down and he explains them and gives their logical reasoning. And he goes through, he explains Jesus, obviously, the cardinal virtues, chastity, sex and love, pride, and theological virtues. Then at the end of the book, he talks about the science of God, and it's really interesting to read how God has this different kind of notion of time than we as humans do, and it was interesting to kind of see that explained. But overall, the main conclusion of the book is that logically, all of this makes sense, but as Christians, we're not confined to logic. And even though Christianity makes sense, if we actively believe and work towards Christ's perfection, we have this divine power if we choose to go all in. And I think one insight that really stuck out to me was about human nature, which is at the beginning of the book. It stuck with me all the way through the book, and even now I still think about it. It was interesting to look at that we all have this innate nature, and it's shaped by where we come from and how we're raised, but we all have the same conscience that whether we listen to it or not, it's pointing us towards good, and it's ultimately it's pointing us towards a search for a God. And for me, this points me closer to God. It gives me like this heart for missions, because it showed me that there are so many people out there that have this innate calling, and they're searching for something, and whether they know it or not, they just need that one person to point them to the truth. And so that's really something that stuck with me from this book. And something else that has really helped me grow through reading this is the explanation of some complicated stuff and some really just basic beliefs about Christianity. Like, I'm a PK, and I've grown up in church, and I don't think I've ever had these things explained to me in depth. And so it was a really cool experience because it forced me to reevaluate what I actually believe and why I believe it. And I think that I was forced to think about everyday things and how everything relates to Christianity, whether I wanted to or not. Just logic, it all does, and it made me connect all of these things. And I definitely feel a lot stronger about my faith, and I feel like I can be more active in my belief, and I definitely feel way more prepared to defend my faith. So this book, I recommend it. I give it 5 stars, and this was great. Thank you.